Chore time here. It is September 1st today. Luckily, all of the meat chickens are fine. We had an owl try to break into the chicken tractor last night. We had to go out there in the night and scare him off.
We gotta sneak up. Okay, see it?
Oh my gosh.
So cool.
We gotta make sure that they're safe. I don't know what the damage that thing can do. Structurally on the sides, it's not that secure. Now, whether or not he can figure that out, I don't know.
He was over here clawing around. He jumped up on top. There's probably not much he can do unless he curled through that layer there.
Yeah, they're getting bigger, aren't they? They're just starting to eat grain, just like their mama. Why? Oh yeah. Indy said it makes him sad that the piglets are growing up because then they won't be babies anymore. That's how we feel about you. You're growing up too fast. You got the hose for me? All right, you want to put it or set it down right there, and then will you go turn it on? Little helper. You want to fill it right from the top for me? I made this little waterer that could be fed from the top, and it's just a big piece of PVC with a cap on the bottom. I did PVC primer and glue along the outside edge, and then I put this little nipple in there that's just a regular, I think it might be made for pigs. Drilled it out, put that in there, and put another sealant around the outsides of that. And it works really well because I don't even have to come in here to fill it up. I can just hold the hose over the top and fill it right from the top. And the piglets can reach it too. I haven't seen them try to utilize it much yet because they're still getting most of their water intake from her milk, but they are starting to eat grain. They don't eat a ton of it, but they eat enough of it to where, we're starting to see some really noticeable growth. They're getting a lot stockier. So far the piglets haven't utilized their creep much that we built them for feeding, but they do sleep in there if they ever need a moment to kind of sleep away from Bella. She's been pretty good with sharing with them. They'll sit alongside of her while she eats. They're able to eat some of her food, and I'll put some on the ground next to her bowl. Eventually, it's going to become a lot more competitive as they grow and get bigger, and they're going to get more competitive with the feed. And she was definitely competitive with Edward with the feed. At that point, I think we'll have a different situation. It's been amazing to see how fast they do grow, though. Really, just over 3 weeks old, and they're already easily doubled in size from where they were. I'm looking forward to when we can put the male piglets in with Edward when they get a little bit bigger, because I think he was so used to being with Bella all the time, and I think he definitely feels the loneliness now. The feed mix that I give the pigs is only 15% protein, which is a decent amount, but especially with Bella, because she's nursing, she needs a little extra. And Edward, I want to see a little more weight on him as well. I started mixing in some sunflower seeds in with the fermented pig grain. I only started doing that in the last few days, a little extra boost in protein. Bree and I had a conversation yesterday, and I think for now we're gonna forego the idea of breeding sheep. We really want our main goal to be raising pork. It's just a lot easier to focus on one thing at a time. I think we're gonna end up butchering both sheep when the time comes. Maybe we'll end up breeding sheep down the road, but right now we wanna get really good at one thing and not try to do everything at once, which is super important. We've had times in the past where we tried to do so many different things at once, pigs, chickens, turkeys, ducks, and you can get a little bit burnt out. Brianna was pregnant when we did that the first time, and she wasn't able to take on a lot of the load, understandably. So I definitely I got tired out and just overwhelmed trying to do all of that. Over the years, we've learned to slow down a little bit and not try to do everything at once. It's not always practical when it's just the two of us. It ends up being kind of nice too, because this is all the more meat that we'll be able to have in the freezer. Also, there's just the fact that the market for lamb isn't nearly as mainstream as the market for pork. So as we do hope to make some of our living off of selling this meat, it's important to kind of choose meats that most people are buying, whether it's chicken or pork. Lamb, people buy it, it's good meat, but it's definitely much bigger in Muslim communities. Now, if you're raising livestock for yourself, then you can raise whatever you want. Obviously, raise pork, chicken, emu, whatever it is. It's whatever your preferences are. If you're trying to either make a profit or just recoup enough of the cost from raising it for yourself to break even or even have a little bit monetarily left over, then you have to base it, it's like any other business where you're basing it on regional marketability. So you have to look at what's being consumed in your area. Obviously here in America, here in Michigan, people are eating beef, chicken, pork. It's pretty standard all around the country. Meats like lamb, while people still eat them, it's more of a specialty meat. So you're not gonna have nearly the market for that, especially in this area, that you would for a chicken or pork. We're getting very close on the meat birds. Maybe only another 2 weeks, maybe 3. On that note, it's time to go feed them. You gonna help me? All right, I have a mission for you. Grab the hose, turn it on, and run it over here as fast as you can, and I'm gonna time you. On your mark, get set, go. 1, 2, no matter how long it takes them, I'm gonna say it took 1 minute. It took you 1 minute.
Not bad.
Not bad at all. Are you having trouble pulling it? You want Dad to help you? All right. Because they are getting so big, I started yesterday. I'm trying to let them out for a little bit every day because they're very easy to put back in. Once they eat and have something to drink and have a chance to forage a little bit, I can kind of shepherd them back in here fairly easily. There is a huge hornet's nest, probably the size of a volleyball, hanging above our backyard. I spent an hour last night shooting it with a BB gun, just trying to make them uncomfortable and get them to leave. I don't know if that'll work or not. I really doubt it.
One of the coolest parts of making these videos and documenting this part of our life is being able to look back and see how much has changed, and to have so many memories immortalized so we can reflect on what we've done right and even things we've done wrong. The thing we're the most proud of in these reflections is the kids and the amount of independence and confidence they've grown into. Things that we once had to supervise, they can now do on their own. With every passing year, we, as parents, have to get more used to letting them take the wheel, learn from their own mistakes, and ultimately, we have to allow each of them to be their own person, even when it's difficult.